Alright, well, I might want to aim that a little bit closer. Well, we're doing a slightly different approach today, because we're going to see Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, which, like, straight up, if he wasn't taking me, I wouldn't see.
And clearly...
Which is disgusting, considering how much we both love Jurassic Park.
Yes, and these people don't know how to name these movies, because if they were going by Steven Spielberg, this movie would be called Fallen Kingdom, Jurassic World.
But, point being, I'm missing out on seeing Soldado for this piece of shit, so I'm already preemptively angry. So, literally we can only go down from here. I'm not expecting this to be the worst movie ever, just because... I'm not, just because I don't think it can be. I'm just expecting it to be bad enough for me to be angry.
Because right now, this is the 5th Jurassic Park outing, and Jurassic Park is so amazing that, like, it's one of the greatest films ever, but then Lost World and Jurassic Park 3 are both fucking terrible.
They have good things in them that keep them from being, like, irredeemable garbage, but they just pale in comparison to the first one so much. And then Jurassic World comes along, which is a perfectly serviceable sequel. I don't dislike the movie. I have a slight affinity for it just because I do think that Trevorrow is a more clever writer than people might give him credit for.
I think he's a better director than he is writer.
Yes, that's unquestionable. I think Jurassic World...
I didn't see the Book of Henry.
No, it's fucking god-awful dog shit. But I feel like Jurassic World is a bit more clever of a movie, but it's not, like, clever enough to be actually notable. But it is definitely the best of the Jurassic Park sequels. This, I am expecting it to dethrone too, which is still my least favorite. Because, that movie really does have a lot of things going for it. It's just that the script is so bad. Like, so bad! And look, 3 is not exactly like a well-written movie, but I can enjoy Jurassic Park 3 as a B movie.
Yes.
Jurassic Park 2 is grating. It is annoying.
See, like,
it's not a fun movie.
The thing is, the reason why, in my opinion, the reason why JP3 got more backlash than The Lost World is people don't realize that all of the Jurassic Park movies, all of them, including the original, are just B movies with shitloads of money thrown at them. But in Jurassic Park 3 was the one out of the franchise that was like, you know what, fuck it, let's just embrace the B movie style the most, and people didn't like that.
I mean, to be totally fair, like, premise-wise, Jurassic Park is a B movie, just in, like, its, like, premise. If you, like, that would not be out of line. It's just that Spielberg and that movie's screenplay elevate it.
Thanks to Michael
Crichton. And, like, it's because Jurassic Park, the original, is idealistically closer to something like the Westworld TV show that we have now, where it gets actually kind of existential and it talks about playing God and the humans' role in how they should affect nature, whereas the next movie is a stupid black and white environmentalist movie, which... wow, good job at simplifying that theme. The third movie has no pretense about it and is just... yeah, it is just a movie about people running away from dinosaurs, and you know what? I am fine with that. And Jurassic World is the exact same movie as the first one.
Well, I mean, like, Jurassic World is a what-if... some random asshole's fan fiction got turned into a feature film.
Yes, and it's okay fan fiction by that, like, and I will still say, Jurassic World has a great climax. Like, a great, really, really stellar climax. I highly enjoy the end of the movie. And the middle of the movie. I just think it takes a while to really get to where it shines. And it's also not a particularly good-looking movie. Yeah. That's the only thing I've heard positive about Fallen Kingdom, is that under J.A. Bayonia's eye, the movie does look better. It's just everything else is worse.
Because, like, I actually did some reading, and apparently, I find Jurassic Park 3's production history to be a little bit fascinating, because you know how the Spinosaurus T-Rex fight was underwhelming and whatever?
Yeah, it was like 2 seconds.
There was like 20 to 30 seconds of the fight that was cut from the film that we still see a little bit of it in the trailer. And the reason why that 20 seconds was cut was because when they were shooting, this was like the last thing they shot for the film, this fight. And when they were shooting, the Spinosaurus animatronic bit down on the T-Rex animatronic, but they didn't realize how strong the Spinomatronic was.
Oh, did they break it?
And they broke the T-Rex animatronic.
Shit.
And gasoline or whatever started leaking from it.
Okay. Again, say what you want about Jurassic Park 3, but that movie used animatronics in such a way that, like, it had that as a problem. Like, they were really trying to go for something with that. They were really, like, putting effort into this one, like, tiny little set piece. Jurassic World can't have that problem, because it's just
CG.
computers. Yeah, like, for as, you know, as okay as the movie is, the effects are really inconsistent because they look between computer dinosaurs and they use actual animatronics in like 3 scenes, and like the animatronics look so much better than the like. I don't think the computer ones look bad. I'm not Doug Walker, but I do genuinely really believe that the animatronics are the way to go with these movies. Like, that's like, when you take that out of these movies, you've already lost some of your appeal for me.
Yeah, like the animatronics in Jurassic Park 3 hold up fine, but the shot of Alan Grant and the rest of and the Kirby family on the boat, and that's just the Brachiosaurus, the purple.
Oh yeah, that looks like dog shit. Like no. But like the animatronics look great. Like, if you go back and look up at the production of the first movie, and you know, it's like they have like, I think of the, like, when I think of the Spielberg set piece, when I think of like, what is the singular scene or thing that happens in filmmaking that I think, like, exemplifies him, not as an artist, but as a filmmaker? I think of the T-Rex scene from Jurassic Park. Everything about that scene is iconic. It's so well executed. Like, everything still looks fucking amazing. And like, it's really tense. It's just so well shot. And when you go behind the scenes, it's like they were having so many problems with the T-Rex animatronic because of the rain. And like, the rain makes that scene visually, and they somehow managed to shoot around that. And now, if that movie was being made, they'd just be like, I just put like CG and whatever.
Yeah.
Like, even its problems aren't human.
And that's why I would rather sit down and watch 3 over 2, because like you said,
it's also shorter.
I can remember a visual action set piece from the original, and I have a couple action set pieces that stay in my mind from 3. None of the action set pieces from Lost World stay in my mind.
The only one that does is one that's really well executed, but none of it makes any logical sense, and that's the RV.
Yeah, the RV scene is so stupid.
Like, nothing in that scene makes sense. Like, I recognize the amount of filmmaking that took, and like, I saw the behind-the-scenes featurette when I was a kid of like them building the fucking waterfall. Like, that is impressive. However, it was not thought through very well, and that's the film's only real notable set piece. Like, the only other thing I can think of that I like is that one shot of the T-Rex doing this to the bus. That's one fucking shot!
No, I take that back.
One!
The scene where the T-Rex eats David Kep.
That's pretty funny.
Like, and
but like, everything else, it's just a T-Rex like chasing people, and then like raptors that like.
Oh my god, the raptor scene in the
set
Lost
piece
World
sucks ass. It starts off really well too. It's like they're like on this grass, and people are getting picked off one by one, and then they go to that fucking boring ass building, and it's like.
That's the one thing JP3 did better. The raptors and JP3.
Yeah, they were super good, and they like understood how to use them, whereas like they were a complete fucking detour in the normal movie.
Because like in 3, the 3 action set pieces are like the plane crash scene at the beginning, even if the lighting on the Spino could have been better. You got the pterodactyl
really
scene, and then you've got the boat scene with the Spinosaurus attacking them. Like apparently
with the fire too.
Because like apparently they use like 3 different plane sets for that scene, like one that crushes on the outside, one that crushes on the inside, and one to crash into the tree.
Well, and there's so much that goes into that, because you think about, not only do you have to like build this thing, shoot in this particular way, You have to keep track of all these things, but you have to keep putting your actors through this.
Yeah.
Like, you're basically, like, that day of shooting was probably fucking Sam Neill and T. Leone and William H. Macy getting fucking tossed around in that thing like a fucking salad over and over and over again, take after take, and you're like, you can appreciate the work that was put into that. I don't remember a goddamn thing until the end of the first Jurassic World. Like, I remember the babysitter gets violently murdered, and it's like, on one hand, like, good, like, you got balls, I'll give you that, but secondly, I'm like, that's just mean, like, damn.
It's like...
if at least the first movie had the decency to kill the character that we didn't like.
Well, I mean, like...
Just yeet.
Wasn't that the first female character death in the entire franchise?
I think so, which is a little weird, but, like, it still feels like just really, like, weirdly, specifically violent for that. Like, nobody else's death gets that treatment in the movie. It's like, the fact that this woman is dying is a spectacle. She gets picked up by a fucking pterodactyl, and then she gets eaten by a Leopleurodon, and you're like, what in the fuck?
I thought it was like Mesosaurus or whatever.
Or Mosasaurus. I think it's like the same thing. But like, it just feels tonally at odds with the rest of the movie.
See, like,
I feel like Colin Trevorrow probably had a much more B-movie idea when he was going into that, and I think the studio probably made it a lot safer.
See,
because
like,
with Safety Not Guaranteed, that's a movie that is exactly what you would imagine if you say, like, oh, I would imagine, like, Colin Trevorrow making a clever, like, set-piece-ish movie with some clever ideas that has a really satirical edge, but nah, in, like, Jurassic World, it's a pretty milquetoast vanilla film.
See, like, there are two kinds of B-movie garbage you look forward to. B-movie garbage that you just dread, like this film, and then B-movie garbage that you look forward to because it's gonna be fucking hilarious.
Yeah, like, there's this new
Megalodon movie that I'm looking forward to.
Have you seen the trailer recently released for a movie called Mandy with Nicolas Cage?
No.
Oh, we're watching that trailer, like, right now, but that movie looks like it is going to be the B-movie magnum opus of all time. Like, everything in that movie, you're just like, what the fuck is this? And it looks amazing. I see the trailer for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, I'm like, I think I'm gonna sleep a while.
See, when I'm
gonna take a nap.
When the trailers first started emerging for Fallen Kingdom, I'm like, oh!
Oh, the first one was dog shit. Like, the second one was fine, but, the first one was so bad.
What are we talking about now?
Fucking Jurassic World 2.
Oh. No, when my reaction when the first trailer came out was, oh, yeah, this movie exists, I forgot.
Yeah, precisely, but then it's just like a volcano explodes on the dinosaurs.
Even though, according to Rob Walker, the volcano is the most interesting or best-looking effect in the film.
That does not inspire confidence in me. Oh, I do know one spoiler about the film. And apparently this is entirely wasted. But they clone a human.
Yep.
And I'm like, alright.
Why?
But like, I could see this working in a movie that was actually trying to be smart. This movie doesn't feel like it's trying to be smart. Like, I would understand, like, that's taking it to a whole new, like, the one really good creative idea that Jurassic World had that it didn't really double down on was the fact that the Indominus was the dinosaur combo. Like, you put a bunch of pieces together. Is it just basically a big raptor? Yes. Can it do a couple of cool things like cloak itself? Yes. But they really should have just taken that off the rails and give it a stegosaurus tail and like different arms and wings, and it could like breathe fire, like go that far, and then it'll be like, okay, it's the same message as the first one, but it's going like a step further. Not just that humans bring back dinosaurs, humans made like actual monsters. Like, that I can get behind. And this, if you're gonna clone a human, that's so much bigger than making like a dinosaur. That's some really ethics trying shit, but I don't think this movie is going to be intelligent enough to take it somewhere that I think is going to be interesting.
And apparently this is just like a filler movie, because Colin Trevorrow said that Jurassic World 3 is the movie that he wanted to make the whole time, but he needed Jurassic World 1 and 2 to set up Jurassic World 3.
Okay, so this will probably be my, like, closing statement here, just because this is really long. But the thing that I don't like is that I'm not, in principle, against the idea of having sequels to Jurassic Park. I don't think it's, like, it's a movie I love, it's my favorite Spielberg, but it's not a movie that I would consider, like, untouchable. I think you could do more, potentially. But what I don't like is making it into a commodity. It feels like they're trying to make it into Marvel movies. Like, that's genuinely what this is starting to feel like.
And it's what Disney tried to do to Star Wars before Solo was just...
Yeah, but that's the thing, is that Disney is still successful with the main series. It's that here, like, I don't know what the point is. I understand, like, after The Last Jedi, I understand why they're making new Star Wars movies. They're taking the thematics and flipping them on their head. That makes sense. Jurassic World? I don't fucking know. Like, do you know?
It was a what-if
What's
scenario.
What's the point?
Because, like, in the original Jurassic Park, the park never opened. It broke down on a trial run.
Yeah.
Jurassic World was a what-if scenario where the park actually opened to the public.
Yeah, and I just feel... It's not that I feel robbed, it's just the logical progression of these themes, and, like, if you want to take this deeper, like I said earlier, you don't have to watch the Jurassic Park movies. Fucking watch Westworld. That's what Michael Crichton fucking did, basically, is when he made the original film, is that he took what he was going to do with Jurassic Park, but took it a step further. And that show is really fucking good, so you go and watch that, and then you can get out of it what you should be getting it out of this, but then this is just whatever.
Or read the Jurassic Park novels that Crichton wrote.
Yeah, which are better, even though I think Crichton has some problems as an author, mainly having likable characters is a very big problem with him.
Oh yeah, let's retcon Ian Malcolm's death from the first book and the second.
To be fair, he's tolerable in the
He's not tolerable in the movie.
No, well, that's Jeff Goldblum. Apparently Jeff Goldblum is in this movie for, like the video we're making now is longer than Jeff Goldblum.
Oh yeah, Jeff Goldblum said in an interview that you could cut out all of his scenes and you would have the same movie.
I mean, like, I have come to understand that this cameo is literally, like, 40 seconds. Like, that's it.
Like, they filmed it last minute.
Yeah, like, he's in one scene, like, in the movie, and then, like, at the very end, he's got, like, the fuck you trailer line, or the next movie line of Welcome to Jurassic
It's another
World,
amazing...
fuck you!
It's another amazing Spider-Man 2 where the last shot in the trailer is most likely going to be the last shot in the film.
Or, Fantastic, the Fantastic movie where he's just like, I've got it, I know what our name should be, and then cut to black, and just be like, fuck you! So anyway, fuck this movie. I haven't even seen it. Fuck this movie.
We'll be back when we watch it.
God.
We're back. We just saw Fallen Kingdom.
That was catastrophically stupid.
I want to castrate myself.
Before you even knew what you had, you patented it, you packaged it, and now you're selling it. You're selling it!
You were so preoccupied whether or not you could, you didn't stop to think if you should.
You know, the first Jurassic World was like a perfect metaphor for itself, because the lesson of Jurassic Park, the original, is that you should not make Jurassic Park. So, you know, Jurassic World coming around doing it, the lesson there is don't make Jurassic Park again. So, even having a sequel to that movie sounds kind of stupid, but this is also a fantastic metaphor for itself, because it is a Frankenstein's monster of corporations and greed and soullessness and nothing.
I'm not kidding. The first hour of this film is just them rescuing them from the fucking volcano.
That wasn't the first hour, that's the first 45 minutes. It just felt like an hour.
But then, the second half of the film is Eddie Murphy's Haunted Mansion, but with dinosaurs instead of ghosts.
That movie has scarier moments than this. Like, I'm not even kidding, like, the zombie effects in Haunted Mansion, like, this movie has a little girl jump scare. Like, at the beginning of the film, in broad fucking daylight.
Oh, also, apparently, this film tells us that John Hammond once had a business partner, and apparently they had a falling out, and their falling out was because the business partner was jealous of his grandkids, so he cloned his dead daughter so he could have a grandkid.
See, that's one of the ideas I actually liked. They just did nothing with it.
Oh.
Absolutely fucking nothing.
That little girl should be in prison. She just killed, like, millions of people.
That's my problem, is that when Jurassic Park 2 did this exact same fucking message where they try to confuse dinosaurs with animal rights activism, the difference between dinosaurs and animal rights activism is that dinosaurs are dinosaurs! Animals that are endangered do not, statistically, have a very large likelihood of murdering people. Dinosaurs, however, they do. And they want it, and it's just like, they're alive, like me. Well, you know what else? Everybody else is alive. Bet those people that got murdered because of the dinosaurs that you let out are probably not as sympathetic to your plight, little girl. God damn, that was dumb!
Was Jeff Goldblum talking about the franchise or the
dinosaur? My god, that was so apt. It was just like, oh, we're the Jurassic World.
Welcome to Jurassic World. What are we, some kind of suicide squad?
Yeah, that was as bad.
Okay, would you even... Was that even Ian Malcolm, or was that just Jeff Goldblum playing?
That was just Jeff Goldblum. I don't like...
If you had told me he was playing a different character... And Jeff Goldblum was the only actor to play two different characters in the franchise.
People really weren't kidding. His actual screen time appearance does not exceed a minute. And he appears twice. It's insane.
It was just a little bookend.
Let me, okay. Before I bitch more, because I want to issue the one compliment to this movie that I can unabashedly give it. Even then, it still comes with a caveat. Number one, it is directed and shot very, very well. J.A. Bayona is a good director, and he was given a shite script. But there were so many shots in this movie where I was like, wow, that's a great shot. Not only because it's, like, well composed or it's pretty, but, like, a lot of them, like, actually meant something. But he didn't have a script that backed those up, so it felt entirely hollow. Like, there was, like, the shot where her face and the Indoraptor's face in the mirror, or not the mirror, the glass was, like, overlapped because they were both scientific creations. Like, that's a creative shot, and that happens all over the place with this movie. But, man, it would have been effective if you gave a shit about literally anything that happened, which I did not.
Oh, and Chris Pratt's character development for surviving this whole event is, oh, I gotta finish my cabin.
He didn't have nobody had character development in this film. Even Bryce Dallas Howard, like, first of all, she's like, promoting dinosaur rights, and I'm like, okay, I mean, sure, whatever. You give a fun enough reason, even though it's still stupid to back that up, but it's like, the last movie was about you running away from dinosaurs that eat people. So the logical progression of this character is, of course, to keep them around. Why not? Not only is she a supporter, she's like the head honcho supporter. Like, why? What the fuck?
Oh, everyone said it was out of character for Dr. Grant in Jurassic Park 3 to hate dinosaurs now.
No, that was incredibly fucking logical. This was just backwards in all the worst ways. Like, every single good idea gets, like, smushed and crushed under the heaving weight of this monolithic stupidity.
And, oh my god, when Chris Pratt opens his eyes, or wakes up or whatever, and he's, like, right next to the lava, and he just, like, scoots away from it.
Oh, God.
That's not how lava works.
That's not how continuity works. There's just so many moments in this movie where, like, we were talking about set pieces before this.
Yeah.
There's not a single memorable set piece in this entire fucking movie. Some people said they enjoyed the end with, like, the house and stuff, and I'm like, I didn't.
Oh, and
it was, I mean, like, it's basically dinosaurs fucking around a museum.
Okay, in Jurassic World, they showed us a map of the park, and the Mosasaurus's pen was in the dead center of the park, meaning it was nowhere near the ocean, but now he's in the ocean now.
See, that kind of, like, I can forgive that kind of shit, but, like, there is no, like, hook in this movie. Like, these characters just exist. They don't do anything. They're all reactive. Like, nobody does anything of their own volition until the dead-ass end of the movie.
10 million, 28 million.
See, that was where I was kind of like, I would theoretically maybe enjoy something like that, but it's like, this movie found the perfect middle ground. Like, it had a lot of smart ideas, and it had a lot of stupid ideas, but instead of relying on one side or the other, it just ended up in the middle and not having a single bit of, like, identity or soul. It was just stupid and a lot of ideas that could have been great. Like, the first act of this movie should have been the entire film. They should just go back to the ruins of Jurassic World and should be walking around it, and it should be about the death of nostalgia, subtextually. Like, that's an interesting approach for this. But instead, they're just like, nah, we're just gonna give you an excuse to kill all the dinosaurs and have one sad, good shot, but
there's
they don't care.
Literally a scene where Chris Pratt is trying to run from a Carnotaurus or something, and then out of nowhere, the T-Rex eats the Carnotaur, roars, and then runs back into the woods where the volcano is.
It was just like, excuse me, we're going to have this dinosaur plot for a moment, and then you can continue back to your film.
Except
the dinosaurs felt like a fucking distraction in this movie.
The funny thing was, he didn't even eat the Carnotaur. He just bit him on the head
like,
so Chris Pratt could escape, and then he fucked off.
Yeah, it was, they were plot devices. They were, and I get it. In Jurassic Park, I get using the dinosaurs as plot devices. The original one did that too. But this is, like, when you have no substance, there's just nothing here. Like, even if you can, like, go and, like, give me the message of the movie, it's the message of the fucking first movie. It's the message of Jurassic World. It's not giving me anything different. There's nothing there.
It's just the Lost World all fucking over again, but worse.
Yes, like, I don't think it, like, Lost World, the only way Lost World is genuinely worse is its visuals aren't as good. Everything else is better.
Like, oh my god, Chris Pratt is worse than Vince Vaughn.
Yeah, he literally, like, that, the ethos of this movie confuses the fuck out of me. Like, people sat down in a room and wrote that, like, you know, oh, they're gonna free the dinosaurs, and this is supposed to be looked at as, like, a kind of good thing, and I'm like, you all are responsible for the murder of, like, hundreds of people! What the fuck? How can you possibly do this in good conscience? Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to feel when these characters triumph. Like, they're all assholes. They totally just inadvertently killed people, and it's supposed to be triumphant. Also, by the way, just want to mention, I know there's no substitute for John Williams' score for the original. That's my favorite, like, John Williams score in general. The music in this movie is fucking terrible. It sounds like every other blockbuster I've ever heard, and it reminded me of Batman v Superman because of the fucking choral, like, same shit. It's the same shit. It sounds like it's every other movie. When John Williams did a score for the first one, it punctuated every moment. Every element of filmmaking went into every scene, and it was designed to make you feel some way. And this was just, I don't know, put a fucking score, because it's gotta have a score where it goes, blah! Ah, God, what a fucking soulless film.
What a waste to kill the Indoraptor in this film and not the next one.
Oh my God, the Indoraptor was such a fucking waste. Like, if you thought that the I-Rex in the first Jurassic World was kind of a waste, Jesus Christ. This was just nothing.
Okay, so if you want your brain to liquefy a little bit more through nothing that makes sense, apparently, in order to help promote Jurassic World 2, a website existed from the perspective of the animal rights activists, and it apparently established some world building. Every single dinosaur that was on Isla Sorna was shipped to Isla Nublar for Jurassic World, and all of the dinosaurs that you didn't see in the mansion are now dead. So that means the Spinosaurus that we see in Jurassic Park 3 was either left behind on Isla Sorna or it was killed by the volcano.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you talking about? Why didn't you show it in the movie?
Well, I mean, it's too lazy. It's just lazy. This is, like, I have not seen a blockbuster, like, film in a franchise so superfluous since, like,
Attack of the Clones.
I can't, well, no, even then, Attack of the Clones is still, like, that's when they start developing Anakin's actual character.
You're right, Phantom Menace.
I mean, yeah, Phantom Menace is probably the more apt comparison, just because that movie is a whole lot of nothing.
Phantom Menace is better than Attack of the Clones, but it's more superfluous.
But Attack of the Clones does serve a purpose. it's just worse. But this doesn't serve a purpose. This is just nothing, and I feel so horrible for Jay Bayonia, who obviously, like, this was a writer and studio directed film that they just got this one guy who did a decent movie before to go and do.
Just
and
like,
it's like
Jurassic World.
Yes. Except Jay Bayonia, in my opinion, is a much better filmmaker than Colin Trevorrow. And, like, you can tell, because, again, a lot of these shots have some really great ideas. There's some really strong direction in this movie. The camera work, as a whole, is uniformly fantastic. Like, we get so many, like, it's a lot more interesting than the filmmaking in the first movie. Like, the camera is dynamic, it's flowing, it's motivated, it's so good.
The first movie, do you mean Jurassic World?
Yeah, no. I don't mean Jurassic Park. But I just mean this movie, like, stylistically, from a pure filmmaking standpoint, outside, like, writing, just deserved a better movie. Like, a much, much better movie.
So, like, let's rank all of the Jurassic Park films from best to worst.
I mean, that's the most obvious, like, Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, Jurassic Park 3,
Lost World,
and then this. This made me, I fucking missed Sicario for this. Go fuck yourself! Jesus!